looks like you're in a classroom. Like it looks like it's a blackboard behind you.
Yeah, well, this is my lunch break. So, lacrosse players have the luxury of working full-time jobs. So, and then
Yeah.
playing lacrosse on the side.
So what is this like your classroom? Is it somewhere you usually just hang out or?
It's close to my office. I teach mostly phys ed. I have a kinesiology class,
Yep.
but yeah, but basically pretty much just my there's a classroom nearby that was I thought would be quiet to be able to have an interview.
Yeah, we assume that all the time too, and then people are like, "Why is it so loud in there?" But anyway, that's our problem for sure. Matt, how would you describe after the 7-0 start, the last 5 weeks, that have the Bandits still in first place at 10-2 overall?
Yeah, I think looking at the last, even before the our first loss, I think we've been kind of getting by. We haven't had a lot of clean games from start to finish. A little bit of slow starts, some penalty trouble has had us, having to claw back in some of those games where we were, that's what a good team does is we were able to find ways to win in the fourth quarter. And then the two losses, the one, I think we actually blew a lead and late in the game. And then the last one at home was a tough one in front of a sellout crowd.
You may not want me at any of your games because I was at the home game against San Diego. So that was the first loss of the year. I'm sorry I caused that to happen. But I noticed, and we've talked about it with Steve Priolo before, and like you give up a goal and you guys quickly look at the jumbotron, the video scoreboard. What happened? I hated as a goalie to ever look at the scoreboard. I never wanted to see if I did it good or if I did bad. It was like for later in the next day to review. But you do it right on the spot. Like what's the conversation with your teammates? But how does that get you ready for the next one? Because it looks like you're doing self-assessment right then.
Yeah, it's something that where I think as a goaltender, I grew up as a hockey goalie. So, you're used to giving up, 2 goals, 3 goals, and then you play lacrosse in the summertime and now you're giving up 12. It's a different mindset. So you need that quick turnaround. And I just found it a great way to talk and have a dialogue on maybe what they did right, what we could work on. And then it's kind of reset and move on to the next save type of thing. That's kind of my thought process. Marty, that it's a lonely place back there in the crease sometimes, and you don't get to talk to too many people. So I use that time to be able to talk to my teammates and voice my concerns, or they can voice their concerns to me, and then we move on from it.
Is there ever anything amusing said in a situation like that, just to try to lighten it a bit and get back to what you need to do?
Depends on who's back there, but usually if it's Steve and myself, it's usually pretty business-like. But we've had some characters in the past that would say something funny. It might be my fault or whatever it is, but sometimes try to just try to like ease the tension a little bit, and sometimes that's a great thing for us.
What's your routine? I mean, obviously, you talk about, and we talk a lot about, you've been around for a long time. I'm sure the routine has changed over the years. So, how do you prepare yourself physically and mentally, like every game? And this weekend, it's like back to back. Like that means the routine is gonna change. But how do you prepare yourself?
Oh, well, the one thing for physically wise, I do a lot of the same workouts. I journalize everything, and so just to say, for example, that Calgary week where we got blown out, I never did those workouts ever again. Like they're out there. So I try to stay with what works. Whether it's food, film, and then the day of the game really gets geared up into not so much superstitions. As a hockey goalie and I love Patrick Waugh growing up, and he talked. He did. It was more routine. I just want to get myself in the right mindset where I'm going to play well, and hopefully it doesn't involve too many other people or outside factors, because then that can be problematic. And I think as I've gotten older, I've been less routine oriented. Because there's so much stuff that you can't control. So you just try to do some of the things that you can, whether it's, putting on your equipment one side at a time, or who takes the last shot on, warm up, those type of things you can control. And I try to stay on those.
Do the guys talk to you, or did they stay away from you in the locker room before the game?
I think that was a big thing. Like, don't talk. Like, why are you talking? But like, I've been trying to, as I've gotten older, try to have a little bit more fun, and whether it's being involved, singing the songs in the dressing room, or
Yep.
dancing in warm up, just so they can see that I'm not untouchable type of thing. Which some guys will still do that because they're so used to that's ingrained in them that you don't talk to the goalie. That's going to throw them off or whatever. But I think a lot of the guys that I'm really close with on the team will talk to me and have
And
some
they
fun.
think we're crazy. They're the one that are crazy. They think you can't talk to a human being before a game. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, there are some guys, which, even players, there's going to be players you can't talk to a little
Yeah.
bit before games as well. And I think as I've gotten older, that's something that I've been trying to change a lot. Because this isn't going to last forever, and you want to enjoy as much as you can of it.
Real quick, true or false? Swedish fish are a part of your routine.
Oh, that has become a part of my routine. It's super weird, but you had I don't want to say how many I had because there's not a lot of them. So if they buy them like the Sam's Club bag for me, then they're wasting a lot of them. But it has something to do with my number, so it's very small amount, but it has worked for me. In the game I didn't have it, our equipment guy and people that are close to the team, they said, we were in Toronto. They don't sell Swedish fish in Toronto. So now they have to travel with Swedish fish.
That's
So
amazing.
Tom Askey, who was Ryan Miller's backup in Rochester for years, but also played in the Cincinnati and Mighty Ducks organization, he had a Kit Kat in his locker, and he wouldn't eat it until after the game if he felt he deserved it, something like that. And so if he was mad at himself, the Kit Kat stayed in the locker, and he didn't get it as a reward. Like, that is kind of the same thing, like, food, routine, or kind of superstitions. But I do like it. I think that's part of having fun, right? It's just, it can't just be, I got to go in and make saves. Like, yeah, you got to have fun with other things.
Yeah, and it brings other people into the mix a little bit. It's funny now that I didn't know that was going to be a thing, but they know, and our one guy, Dan Racine in Casey, they make sure that I have Swedish fish or whatever, the mini fish before every game. And it
Not
can't
the
be
big
Swedish
ones, it's the
berries.
mini one too.
Yeah,
It has to be the mini one.
Yeah, it can't be the Swedish berries that they sell where I'm from or in Canada, but it's got to be the mini fish.
Matt, good luck this weekend. Thank you as always for the time.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.